Welcome to The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Supreme Court decision could upend Hunter Biden's verdict. Major Supreme Court decision could upend Hunter Biden's conviction and bolster an effort to appeal his guilty verdict. Biden was convicted of all 3 felony counts in his federal gun trial on Tuesday. A jury in Wilmington, Delaware, found the president's son guilty of lying to a federally licensed gun dealer, making false claims on the application by saying he was not a drug user and illegally having the revolver for 11 days. As Biden considers appealing the decision, a critical ruling from the Supreme Court could be welcome news for Biden's legal team. Michael McAuliffe, who thinks Biden will undoubtedly appeal his guilty verdict, told Newsweek, numerous cases addressing federal firearm prohibitions are pending before the Supreme Court, or working their way through the federal appeals process. Biden, as someone convicted of a federal firearms crime that involves the narrow conduct of false swearing on a form, can and will use the Supreme Court's aversion to the government's enforcement efforts regarding non-dangerous possession of firearms in his appeal efforts, McAuliffe said. The key issue may be where the court ultimately draws the line of dangerousness, that is, whether false swearing on a form is an appropriate proxy for classifying a gun buyer as a danger, and thus a potential felon. One of the biggest cases before the High Court this term is United States v. Rahimi. This case asks the justices to review a federal law that prohibits a person with a domestic violence civil restraining order against them from possessing a firearm. The Supreme Court is expected to rule on Rahimi later this month. Andrew Willinger, the executive director of the Duke Center for Firearms Law, told CNN that a ruling in favor of Zaki Rahimi, the small-time Texas marijuana and cocaine dealer bringing his case before the Supreme Court, could give Biden a lot of ammunition in a possible appeal. Rahimi is the biggest Second Amendment case that has come before the Supreme Court since its landmark ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin, which struck down a long-standing public carry law in New York and cast doubt on gun control laws across the nation. While everyone deserves due process under the law, the children of prominent politicians face an added layer of examination. Their actions are scrutinized not just for their legal implications, but also for what they might suggest about their influential parents. District courts in Texas and Oklahoma have already cited Bruin to overturn firearm possession charges against marijuana users, and a federal appeals court ruled last year that a man who committed a nonviolent crime cannot be legally prohibited from owning a firearm. The appellate issues that Hunter Biden can argue on appeal aren't insignificant, and he might in the end prevail, McAuliffe said. However, he's paid a high price regardless of the outcome of the gun case. The case of Rahimi centers on a restraining order issued to Rahimi's girlfriend in 2020, which also suspended Rahimi's handgun license and warned him that possessing a firearm while the order remained in effect may be a felony. A Solicitor General petition to the Supreme Court said that Rahimi nonetheless defied the order, approaching his girlfriend's house in the middle of the night, threatening another woman with a gun and committing another litany of unrelated shootings. Jacob Charles, a law professor at Pepperdine University who focuses on the Second Amendment, told CNN that he definitely thinks Rahimi and Biden's appeal are connected, saying that one possible outcome is that the court limits the gun prohibitions to people who are found to be dangerous in some way. During November's oral arguments, a majority of the justices seemed inclined to rule against Rahimi. After they decide Rahimi, they're likely to return to other Second Amendment cases, including United States v. Daniels, a case focused on whether drug addicts can own firearms. Biden raised Daniels in court last year when he asked the case against him to be dismissed, but District Judge Mary Ellen Noreika denied Biden's request on those grounds. This inherent tension forms the backdrop for understanding the public's interest in the Hunter Biden case. The fascination with his situation is partly due to the broader questions it raises about fairness, justice, and the influence of power in legal matters. The case ignited debates about whether Hunter Biden received special treatment due to his family connections, or if he was unfairly targeted for political reasons. These debates are not just about Hunter Biden himself, but about the larger issues of how justice is administered in high-profile cases. Regardless of one's political stance, the case underscores the importance of fair and impartial application of the law, especially when public figures are involved. It serves as a reminder that the principles of justice must be upheld consistently, without bias or favoritism, to maintain public trust in the legal system. At the heart of the Hunter Biden case lies a firearm transaction that has garnered significant attention. This transaction and the subsequent legal scrutiny surrounding it have raised numerous questions and concerns. In 2018, Hunter Biden purchased a handgun, an act that seemed routine at first glance. During the purchase process, he filled out a firearms transaction record, a standard form required by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or ATF. This form is a critical part of the legal process for purchasing firearms in the United States. On this form, there was a question regarding drug use, a question that is designed to ensure that firearms do not end up in the hands of individuals who may pose a risk to themselves or others. Answering this question truthfully is crucial, as lying on a federal firearms form constitutes a felony. The integrity of this process is paramount to maintaining public safety and trust in the system. The veracity of Hunter Biden's responses on this form became a point of contention and legal investigation. His answers were scrutinized to determine if he had been truthful. Federal authorities launched an investigation to determine if Hunter Biden had provided false information on the ATF form. This investigation aimed to uncover the truth and ensure that the laws governing firearm transactions were upheld. Legal experts have weighed in on the case, discussing the potential implications and the importance of adherence to federal regulations. The courtroom proceedings have been closely followed, highlighting the broader issues at play. Public reaction has been mixed, with some viewing the case as a critical test of the legal system's ability to enforce firearm laws, while others see it as a politically charged investigation. News headlines continue to capture the evolving story, reflecting the ongoing debate and its significance. We delve into the various arguments that have surrounded the case. We will explore both the legal and public perspectives, examining how each has influenced the overall narrative. As we continue, let's look at the wide range of responses this case has elicited. From political figures to the general public, the reactions have varied widely, reflecting a spectrum of opinions and emotions. Remember to maintain a neutral tone, focus on factual information, and present the facts as they are without any bias. It's important to avoid making subjective claims or promoting specific political viewpoints, as this can influence public opinion. Consider how this case might either erode or confirm the existing perceptions held by the public and the media. The impact on trust and credibility in journalism is significant and should not be underestimated. In our final analysis, we reflect on the lessons learned from this case and discuss the importance of the fair application of law. It's essential to consider how justice is served and perceived in high-profile cases such as this one. This has been The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video.